Funding for Firehouse Kitchen is brought to you by Resorts World Casino in Queens, New York. Over 5,000 games, just minutes away. Shallon Self-Defense Center. Classes for men, women, and children. Kick with the best. Fire News. Serving heroes since 1973. Gentle Dental. In a relaxed, friendly atmosphere located in Eastport, New York. Renee Dumang. Fine jewelry in East Islip, New York. And DiCarlo Food Service, serving quality restaurants located in Hotesville, New York.
Hi, I'm Firefighter Ray, and today I'm in Dix Hills, Long Island, and I'm cooking with our first female firefighter, Chloe Dubin. I'm also cooking with Bill Steo. He's the chief of this firehouse, and we're gonna be making a very, very cool meal. So let's go inside and let's start cooking on this episode of Firehouse Kitchen. We are here in the Dix Hills Fire Department with firefighter, or I should say chief, Bill Steo, and firefighter, right here, our first woman firefighter, Chloe Dubin. Chloe, how you doing?
I'm
All right. And I hear that you are quite the chef in the kitchen. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And I heard you telling me before how you're quite the chef at home, and you make all the meals, which I do not. And Chief, how did you find Chloe? What happened? How did this come about?
Chloe knocked on the door one day and said she wanted to join the fire department.
I did. I did.
So she became one of our EMS members, and she put her hand up and said, "I can cook." And
that's,
you could say you can cook in a firehouse.
Right.
And the cooking ever
That's
You're
usually a
locked in
fatal
for life.
mistake.
What I think is very cool about the Dix Hills Fire Department is you have 6 or 7 women in your department.
That's correct.
I'm in Bayport, we have one. We have one woman in the department, firefighter. New York City Fire Department has 12,000 firefighters. There might be 50 women, I'm not exactly sure the exact number, but I know it's, ridiculously low. To have 6 women in beautiful Dix Hills and small Dix Hills Fire Department is it's unbelievable. It's a very cool thing. What's the secret? What makes all the women come out? Is it you?
I don't know.
Is it you? They
Maybe
come
it's
down
me.
to see Bill? They want to go see Chief Bill. What are we making today?
We are making a beer braised stuffed chicken breast. And I'm gonna begin by giving Chief Steo here some mushrooms to chop, not too fine, more of a rough cut.
How much you want?
We're gonna do about half of those mushrooms. And these onions I've already pre-sliced. So we're gonna start with a little butter and a little oil in our preheated pan.
There we go.
Okay. And we're gonna mix that with a little bit of olive oil.
A little olive oil, a little butter, a little olive oil.
And we're gonna-
Keeps things from burning onto the pan.
It
and
does.
butter
We're
gives it
gonna
a little
let
flavor.
that on a medium heat, get that hot, and we're gonna add our onions.
All right, some onions.
We're gonna add some sliced onions.
Now, is my job gonna be to move them around a little bit? So
Your job is gonna be exactly that.
I think it's wonderful we have the chief here. The reason why Chloe wanted the chief here is she wanted to tell the chief what to do. It's the only time she's gonna have a chance to tell Chief Bill what to do.
That's right. It's our kitchen.
It's our kitchen.
Anyway, Chloe, how are these mushrooms?
You're doing great. That's perfect. All right, so these are gonna caramelize a little bit.
All right, I'll move those around for you.
All right. And Chief, you're doing a great job. And now we're gonna take these, let's get a nice, actually, I'm gonna take this board and these rough cut mushrooms, and we're gonna add these also to the onions.
Rough cut mushrooms to the onions.
This is gonna make almost a stuffing mixture, and it's gonna go inside the chicken breasts.
Very nice, very nice.
So,
Now, how many people are we cooking for about right now? Is this
right
for-
now we're gonna cook for 6.
For 6. Oh, wow. Okay.
So, we're gonna mix these up really nicely, get them all covered with the oil and the butter.
You Got it.
And that's going to take a few minutes. And what I'm going to add is, I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar. Brown sugar helps in the caramelization process. You don't have to use brown sugar, but onions have a natural sugar to them. The brown sugar just helps bring out the sweetness. All right, you're going to mix that right in.
It gives a little shine too, right? The brown sugar? Make a little shine.
Maybe. I think more that's the oil in the butter giving it a little shine,
okay.
yeah. In the meantime, we're going to come over here to our chicken. And I have thinly sliced chicken breasts, pounded thin, and I did all the work ahead of time. Now in the Firehouse, because I cook for rescue dinners, we try to minimize the amount of time it takes. So I'll buy thinly sliced chicken breasts. Today I actually pounded them already, and I'm going to take, this is my raw chicken board. We're going to get rid of this as soon as I'm done preparing the chicken breast.
I have a funny story about pounding chicken. As a probie, I grew up in an Irish household. My mom was a good cook. She made stew. She made, spaghetti, ragu sauce. It was Irish.
Change this.
And I go to the Firehouse and they, Cooney, you got to pound the chicken. And they gave me that hammer thing that you pound the chicken with. And I go to my first one. I'm like, all right, you want to pound it? Yeah, you got to flatten it out. I go, wham, and I hit it. And the thing breaks and like 100 pieces goes on the wall. And one of the guys looks at me and goes, is there something wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know how I was supposed to hit it, but I destroyed the chicken. I destroyed the chicken. That's my pounding chicken story.
All right, now we're going to take our chicken, we're going to pat it dry.
Now we're drying it because...
We're drying it because it's easier for the seasoning to stick.
Okay.
We're going to season lightly, both sides, salt and pepper. We're going to turn these over and we're going to do both sides. Now I'm a salter, which is not a good thing, so I try to use other seasonings to try to get away from a little bit of salt. One of the great seasonings in this recipe is mustard seed. I love rich dark mustard, but mustard seed is one of those herbs, seasonings that is not water soluble. The actual flavor pops when it mixes with an oil mixture. And this is a good time to add the mustard seed into the onions and the mushrooms. It's about a teaspoon. Okay, so now we have, I think we seasoned both sides. Now we have our Swiss cheese. We're gonna take as much Swiss cheese as it takes.
Lots of Swiss cheese.
Lots of Swiss cheese. Okay, so now we have our cheese on our chicken breast. We can put that away. This mixture is almost ready. This is gonna be our stuffing, and we're gonna shut this off. And this looks really nice, and this smells really nice.
Okay.
And I'm going to put just a little bit in the middle of each breast, like this. These could have been just a little bit browner, these onions, but for today's show,
We're gonna make them just like that.
we're gonna make them just like this.
Just like that. We're gonna make them just like
Exactly.
that for today's show.
Ray, unfortunately, this isn't a regular Firehouse meal, obviously, with the prep time that Chloe's going through here and the number of people that she usually cooks for.
Well, this is Dix Hills. You guys might eat that nice in Dix Hills every time. I had a friend who grew up in Dix Hills. I actually went to high school not too far from here. I went to St. Dominic's in West Tibet.
Oh.
And I taught martial arts in Huntington when I was a kid.
Right around the corner.
And, yeah, right around the corner. And I actually came to Dix Hills Elementary School and I taught a little kid, like an after-school program. And I was young. And I remember Dix Hills because there was one kid who was just a terror in this class. I mean, he was just outrageous. And at the end of the thing, we're supposed to give them each of a certificate. And I was young. I didn't know how to deal with kids then. I was like maybe 19. And I said to this 6-year-old kid, "There's no way you're getting a certificate." And then the mother comes, "We don't talk to little kids that way, blah blah blah." But I remember Dix Hills from teaching at Dix Hills School. All right, so we're rolling them.
So let me tell you what I just did. I just rolled this mixture up into small rolls, chicken rolls. We're gonna place these now in some more olive oil, heating on the stove right now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do this with my tongs. It's a nice hot pan.
Now, is the cheese gonna bring it together, or 'cause, usually I put like
actually-
spaghetti to hold it,
Spaghetti in the
to hold like a toothpick. Whenever I do my chicken.
I can use toothpicks, but you know what? The chicken breasts are long enough that it wraps around each other. The two ends meet. So the cooking is gonna sort of seal them, and I won't need a toothpick. When I cook for all the people in the rescue department, 60, 70 people, I don't want them pulling out toothpicks or pulling out twine. So I try to really facilitate what they're eating. And I might want to add a little more butter to the pan so that it doesn't stick.
Nice, very nice. So they're just gonna get seared together. It's almost like a burrito, chicken burrito.
Well,
I was thinking chicken cordon bleu.
I'm thinking stuffed chicken breast.
It's stuffed chicken breast. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
That's it. She just shut us right down. No, it's stuffed chicken breast.
Okay.
She's a chef. That's
I'm the chef here. Here we go. So this is the last one. I'm going to put it in the pan. And I'm going to start turning them over. I only want to brown them lightly on both sides.
Okay. Now, how many members do you have in the Dix Hills Fire Department?
About 150 members in the department.
Wow, how many active?
Pretty large.
That's
Most,
big.
I would say about more than half are active.
Wow. Wow, that's big.
You know, we do have some senior members that have, spent their time here, and now they've kind of taken a step back. We have a lot of younger members, and I know you were in the FDNY, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a lot of younger members that join the department, and with aspirations of becoming a city fire. And we do have a couple of guys now that are processing, going through their physicals and starting the process for the FDNY.
I took my physical. I actually have a funny physical story. My brother Joe, he's captain in the New York City Fire Department. He dropped me off for my physical. I don't know if I told this story. I'll tell it quick, just in case I told it once before. And he drops me off for my physical, and I walk into my physical. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to take my FDNY physical. I'm all excited and waiting my whole life for this. I go in, the guy goes, okay, which paperwork? And I go, I don't have my paperwork. And he goes, your physical from a doctor. You have to have clearance to take the New York City physical because you get hurt here. We got to make sure that you're healthy. So I don't have it. The guy goes, oh, then sorry, you're not taking the physical today. And he goes, I'll tell you what, it's 9 o'clock right now. We're doing another physical at 12. You come back at 12 with the doctors. So I walk outside, my brother left. And so I just get on foot and I start running. And I see this doctor's office, a little doctor's office in the middle of Long Island City. Walking in the doctor's office, I'm all, I need this sign, doctor, now. The lady's like, you have to have an appointment behind the desk. And I'm like, listen, I need this sign, please. And she basically says no, and then I hear a voice from behind the counter. And because I teach karate in Huntington, I hear, that's Ray? And I go, who's that? And it was one of my kids' fathers who's a doctor. He, checked my ears, he felt my throat, goes, okay, you're good to go, sign it, got back there. And now and then I was in New York City Fire, I passed my physical. All right. Anyway, okay, that's my physical story. What is next?
Okay, so now these are browning nicely.
Wow, those are beautiful.
They look really nice. They're gonna need a couple more minutes to brown.
All right, it's looking delicious. I want to eat it right now. This has a few more minutes.
It does.
We have to go to a fire safety tip. I know you've got your sanitary rag clean and stuff. I'm gonna wash my hands. I think you gotta wash your hands. We're gonna clean up a little bit, and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Firefighter Ray, and today's safety tip are for those of you who take medication and have allergies. You should keep a list of these medications or these allergic reactions on you. If you do and you become unconscious, the EMT can diagnose you better and pass that information on. I'm Firefighter Ray, and these safety tips save lives. We are back. I am still holding my spatula. Let's finish up these chicken burrito stuffed chicken.
Stuffed chicken breast in a beer sauce. So we have our chicken breast sizzling really nicely here on the stove. We're turning those a few times. We're not cooking them all the way through. We're just really browning them on all sides. It's time to add our liquids. And I'm going to use a Long Island lager beer. I like to use Long Island products when I can. Could you tell I'm not a beer drinker? Okay.
There you go.
So obviously I'm not a beer
Let me
drinker.
help
Can
you.
you help me with this?
That's great. It's like
Thank you very
like
much.
a can of Hawaiian Punch.
I never actually saw it done that way.
I don't know what happened.
This is definitely a first. Here we go.
I cook. I don't open beer bottles.
That's
Okay.
It.
So while
we
he's
go.
doing that,
You got it.
I'm going to add a couple of pinches of thyme into my oil and butter mixture.
Because we always use thyme in the firehouse.
This is dry thyme. I'm going to start with my beer. Okay. So we're going to use, I eyeball everything. So it's going to foam up and it's going to sizzle. And while it's sizzling, it's taking with it all the juices and all the little chicken scraps and onions on the side. We're going to let that sizzle for a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to mix in a little Dijon mustard. Even though I have my mustard seed, I'm going to do about a couple of tablespoons per bottle.
Okay.
We'll leave that over here. I have a whisk. I'm gonna whisk it all together.
Okay.
All right, so this is nice and hot. And I've got all the little tidbits of chicken and mushroom and onion. I'm gonna finish adding my ingredients. I'm gonna add some chicken broth to my beer and my mustard.
Very nice.
And it's gonna cool it off just a little bit. We're gonna get it back up to a simmer. So now I'm gonna add the rest of my chopped mushrooms.
All right, the rest of the chopped mushrooms.
And that's gonna cook down.
What about the scallions? Are they going in yet?
Nope, that's gonna be my garnish. And I'm gonna ask
okay.
Chief if you could chop these really fine.
We like garnish. Garnish is good. All right, so let's cook it up. This looks pretty
And
good.
I'm also gonna add 2 bay leaves.
Now, what are those?
These are bay leaves. These are fresh bay leaves.
Fresh bay
And
leaves?
you know a fresh bay leaf from a dried bay leaf because this is actually, feels like you just ripped it off the plant. It's nice. It's got a
Very
lot of flavor.
Nice.
We're gonna put that right
This
inside.
one too?
This one too.
Full, like this?
Full, absolutely. Because at the end of the dish,
That looks pretty cool.
you're gonna take it out. You're not gonna serve it. Okay, so this is gonna cook for just a couple of minutes until those mushrooms are soft.
Okay.
I'm gonna put these down, and we're almost ready to transfer our chicken into our baking pan.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna take our pan.
Up front here, let me move these
Put
out
it
of
right
the
here.
way.
How's that
I
with the
like
chop?
it. I like it.
That is perfect. Perfect. That over there, and
I'll hold the pan so it doesn't move.
that would be perfect. We'll
Give
take
me
these
something to do.
chicken breasts. I'm gonna finish putting all of these breasts in the pan. Now this pan is a little big, but normally I have a lot more of these chicken breasts, and there's a
Now-
lot of pans.
When I got here today, somebody told me I had to ask you about a table catching on fire, something with a fire, that something happened.
My first dinner, I'm gonna pour these mushrooms and sauce over this chicken.
Okay.
My first rescue dinner. I was very nervous. I was also studying for my EMT exam.
Okay.
And I put a big pot of chili on the stove for 75 people, and I had it on a high flame, and I left the kitchen. I just left the kitchen. I went back in the other room, and I was studying with a bunch of other EMTs to be
Fire safety.
Fire safety. This was not exactly fire safety. I'm just gonna put a little more oil in this pan
Okay.
while I'm telling this story.
All right.
Thank you very much. And I'm gonna saute the rest of my onions, just a tablespoon or so. And my onions, let's put these right in, because this is gonna finish the dish.
Very nice. Now you can multitask. You can cook. You're
I
a
can.
woman. Women.
I
know,
can.
My
I
wife
can-
can do 9 things at one time. Talking on the phone, cooking something, ironing, and yelling at me all at the same time.
We have to, because nobody else does.
Nobody else does.
No, that's
If
not
you-
true.
If you
That's
love
not
to
true.
toss, nothing will get done.
My husband multitasks.
Ray, what are you doing right now? I'm laying down. I can't do anything else.
So anyway, I left this big pot of chili on the stove, and I went to study in the other room, and I didn't realize the pot was left on a high flame, and I went in the other room to study with my friends, and all of a sudden the entire firehouse filled with that burnt food smell that you hate. I was mortified. I was so
Chili.
embarrassed.
How long was it on the stove for? Like an hour or 2 hours?
Actually, like 20 minutes, but it was a high flame, and it
Okay.
should not have been on the high flame, you know, on the stove, and it was horrible. And I served it anyway, and I was mortified. I couldn't even look at anybody, and nobody said a word. Everybody was very nice, but it's a memory I'll have forever.
And that was your first meal.
That was my very first rescue meal. That was my initiation into the rescue department cooking club.
And look how far you've come. Now you're
And
in charge of the cooking.
They
You
invited
all
me
cook.
back. They actually
invited you back.
me back.
Which proves, though, Chloe, firefighters will eat just about anything.
Yeah, that's,
Not
you know, I
really.
wasn't going to say that, but that is, I have found that to be true.
You know, Chloe, the onions are starting to burn.
Well, I'm busy
kidding.
telling
I'm
a
joking.
story. Maybe I
I'm joking.
can't multitask. So I'm sauteing these onions, and I'm going to add these to the rest of this chicken dish. And we're going to get these a little bit more brown, but they're going to be braising in the sauce for about 30 minutes
Okay.
in the oven. And that's where all these flavors are going to come together.
Now, I thought there was a table involved. I know you burnt the chili.
Oh,
so
that's
what happened
right.
with the table?
The story doesn't end there. So when I came out, mortified, I was lighting the sternos to put the food out. We have these long buffet tables, and we put paper tablecloths on them. And as I lit the sterno, I didn't recognize that there was blue gel on my thumb, and I lit the flame, and it hit the blue gel, and I brushed it quickly on the tablecloth, and the whole tablecloth went up in flames. There were 2 other EMTs in the room who, when they finally stopped laughing, helped me sort of douse the fire and roll up the tablecloths. So the last is the onions go on top, and we're gonna mix everything together. We've got our bay leaves sitting nicely in here. This is gonna go into the oven for 45 minutes, and we're gonna braise it slowly at 350 degrees. I'm gonna add just a touch more salt and pepper, just because I am a little bit of a salter, a little pepper for flavor.
All right, well, it looks like I'm hanging out here for the next 45 minutes until this is done. Maybe we'll have some of that Long Island toasted lager that we put into the recipe. While we're doing that, we'll clean up. Let's go to a fire fact. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Firefighter Ray, and today's fire fact is how to bail out a window. Sometimes it gets hot in a room, we gotta get out those firemen, so we're gonna do a bailout right now. Firefighter, are you ready? All right, here we go. First things first, we're gonna hook onto a substantial object. We're gonna hook onto the windowsill. Then we're gonna straddle the windowsill. We're gonna punch the wall, and we're gonna launch ourselves out the building. And then we're gonna lower ourselves down. There we go. To safety. That was unbelievable. And you know what's unbelievable? I'm here at the Dix Hills Fire Department. And our firefighter right here is a woman, Firefighter Jacqueline Steele. I'm Firefighter Ray.
And I'm Firefighter Jackie Steele.
And this was our fire fact for today. Let's get back to the kitchen. We are back. All right, everything looks so delicious.
This is the finished product. This is our stuffed chicken breast, and inside we have our Swiss cheese, our onions, our mushrooms, our grainy mustard, as well as our mustard seed. We have a little bit of garnish, which I'm gonna garnish all three. This is just green onion. Makes it pretty, makes it taste good. Of course, if you don't like green onion, don't use it. You could use parsley. I just love green onion. And that is your finished chicken breast braised with beer.
Now, we do garnish in the firehouse a lot. You know, our garnish is a big thing of butter on top of the potatoes. It's always gravy, you know, on top of that. Just
well, we have that here too.
Yeah, we do it here too.
We definitely have that here too.
All right,
this is a little different. So dig in.
So we're gonna dig in.
Tell me what you think.
I want a little gravy on mine.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we gravy all of ours up? And I definitely think I want to dip in this gravy with my bread. Taking a look at it, this looks unbelievable.
Thank you very much.
And if you guys don't mind, something I always do
is dip your bread in the gravy.
Yeah,
I do too. I like
do a little dip in
the
first.
crust.
I mean, you have bread that looks like this. This is just, you gotta dip.
This is actually good with a really dark bread too.
No, Don's gonna dip in the big one. No? I'm the only slob? No double dipping.
No double dipping. There you go. Single
All right.
dip, Chief.
I don't.
Oh, you did it already. Oh, okay. All right.
That is delicious. That is unbelievable. Now, as a joke, we're in Dix Hills, and we're gonna taste them with plastic forks. The past couple episodes, we had plastic forks on. And, you know, because we go to a lot of these firehouses, we film in them. I always say we always eat with plastic forks. But the forks will be locked up. Well, that'll be like the one thing. So we had a couple shows where we had one guy cooking with a plastic fork the whole time, and I'm waiting with a metal fork going, a spoon going, can we cook with this now? He's moving this chicken around, his steaks, and we got the plastic forks out. But, so I figured for this one,
That's no joke. This is what we like
we're
to
gonna
use.
eat with plastic forks in Dix Hills. Okay, so let's try it out. Very, very nice.
Should be tender. Should be cheesy.
Ooh.
Should see lots of onions.
This is our stuffed chicken, beer soaked,
Beer braised.
beer braised.
I like the word braised, but it's soaked.
That is delicious. Holy cow.
And before you serve it, take out the bay leaves, which I didn't. So here's
Oh, there you
my
go.
bay leaf.
I said that before about getting some leather in our mouth. All right,
Exactly
I'm
right.
gonna eat this whole thing. This is absolutely delicious. To find out more about Firehouse Kitchen, go to firehouse.kitchenshow.com. To friend us on Facebook, and you can find out how we donate to the Isom Town Fire Museum, to the burn centers, and just any of our other sponsors that are supporting Firehouse Kitchen. I thank them all. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Ray, for coming.
This was awesome. Chloe, this is a monumental moment on Firehouse Kitchen. We had our first woman firefighter, and I think that is amazing. And America, we will see you next time on
Firehouse Kitchen.
This is Dix Hills. You guys gotta get a little louder. Ready? And
Firehouse Kitchen.
I like it. I like it. Thank you guys very much. Let's enjoy eating this delicious stuffed chicken. Oh my goodness gracious.
Funding for Firehouse Kitchen is brought to you by Resorts World Casino in Queens, New York. Over 5,000 games, just minutes away. Shallon Self-Defense Center. Classes for men, women, and children. Kick with the best. Fire News. Serving heroes since 1973. Gentle Dental, in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere located in Eastport, New York. Renee Dumang, fine jewelry in East Islip, New York. And DeCarlo Food Service, serving quality restaurants located in Hotesville, New York. Now you can enjoy Firehouse Kitchen at your own leisure with Firehouse Kitchen DVDs. Rewatch your favorite recipes and stories with this DVD collection.